Hi, it's Lisa from Lisa Heal Yourself, and today I want to talk about how to stop engaging with your negative thoughts and your symptoms. So, first we have to figure out what they are. So, I've written down some notes here and I'm just going to kind of refer to them, but I was thinking a lot about this because we are obsessed. I know that when you're chronically ill, we are obsessed with getting rid of our symptoms. That's the number one thing that I've wanted and everybody else I know wants to do is get rid of the symptoms. We just want to get rid of them. So when a symptom comes into our body, right away we start to engage with this symptom in our mind. So if a symptom is, a sore back or a sore muscle or pins and needles or pain or whatever it is, as soon as the symptom arises, we engage with the symptom in our mind, right? So we look to it and we seek ways to get rid of this symptom. Straight away, our mind starts to do battle with this symptom. So first of all, we get a twinge somewhere, we look at it and we start to engage with it. We start to pay our attention to it, right? We start to give significance to it and meaning to it and attention to it, and we focus on it. And as soon as we do that, we've entered into this circular habit, sort of almost like a cycle of this negative perpetuating pattern. Okay, and this happens subconsciously in our reticular activating system. This happens naturally, it happens behind the scenes. But as soon as we notice a symptom, we give it attention, and that by us giving our attention to it, we are now giving it engagement, we're giving it our attention, our focus, our participation, our significance, right? Our interest, we're giving it all these things. This is how it grows. It grows on itself. So the more significance and interest it gets, the bigger it grows, the more intense it gets, the more it moves around, it moves to different parts of our body. Now we have more symptoms, the more intense, the more we give our focus and significance and interest to them, the more they grow. So that we feed them. It's like we're watering them with our attention and our, right? So let's just take, okay, so let's back up. First, we give it our attention and then immediately it starts to grow. And as it grows, we seek ways to get rid of this symptom. So now we start to go into battle with ourselves. So we start up our stress response, we start up our fight or flight nervous system, and immediately our mind starts to go round and round. How do I keep this person safe? How do I get safe, right? But our mind's not really saying, how do I get to safety? But that's the system it ignites, because it says, how do I get rid of this symptom? How do I get rid of this symptom? How do I get rid of this symptom? Over and over in our mind, which is really saying, how do I keep you safe? How do I keep this person safe? So we engage with it first, we give it our focus, we grow it like a plant, and then we start to look for ways to get rid of it. So we engage our mind, we engage our fight or flight subconscious nervous system. It starts to work, and then we launch an attack on ourself, truly on ourself. We do battle against our own symptom, which is actually part of ourself. But we don't perceive it as part of ourself. We say, how do we get rid of this pain, this headache? We see it as outside of ourself, like as an invader, as the bad part, as the part that needs to be gotten rid of, as the enemy, right? We see the symptom and the disease or the symptom, whatever it is, as the enemy that we now need to get rid of, get away from, flee from, or fight. So that's how this activates our fight or flight nervous system. We are now looking at the symptom itself as our enemy. How do we either flee from the enemy or fight the enemy? And because even though we are looking at this as a separate entity, as an outside enemy, it's actually part of our body. So we actually can't flee from it because it's happening inside our body. Our subconscious mind, even though it sees it as an outside entity, it knows deep down it cannot flee. There's no way to flee. Sometimes we do try to distract. We try to pace around the house. We try to avoid. We try to, do all these things. And then our body realizes, wait a minute, we can't get away from this thing, which is the body's first response always is to try to flee. And we never want to go to fight right away. We're always looking for ways to get away from. So in our case, to get away from the symptom, we avoid, we distract, we, whatever it is. We're trying to get away from it. And then our body, our subconscious is figuring out, wait a minute, we can't. This is not actually an outside entity. This is actually part of you. We can't get away from it. But it still perceives it as an enemy. So it goes to the second thing, which is fight. So now we turn on that stress system higher because it can't flee. So now we're even higher because the first response is to flee and the second response is to fight. So now we engage in battle with the symptom, which is actually to ourself. So this is how we engage in battle with ourself without even realizing it. So we seek to get rid of this symptom. We launch a battle against it and we think in our mind is constantly on guard thinking, how can I fight this symptom? How can I get away with it? What can I do to end it, to battle it, to shut it down, right? So this is all negative thoughts that are going on in our mind that causes stress to the body. Now our body is feeling like we're under stress. And because the enemy can't be gotten rid of, it is actually a part of you. It's a looping system. And you're caught up in a stress system that will not end. It can never end. The only way to end it is to take our mind and our attention and our focus and our interest and our significance and our engagement off the symptom, and then it ceases to exist. So even if it exists, the fight ceases to exist because we're not engaged with it. So I wrote down some notes because this gets confusing, so stay with me. Stay with me. It's important. This is really important, and that's why I've written it down. It's very confusing. It gets very like esoteric, and it's easy to overthink it because our mind is constantly in this overthinking stage, but it's really simple, okay? We have a thought of a symptom, and the moment we give it our engagement or significant, it grows, and it starts to launch an attack on ourselves. And this association gets built that keeps it going in a circular motion. And now, we're looking for confirmation and we're doing this to ourselves, but we don't realize it because it's subconsciously. So you're not consciously doing this. This is subconscious. This is a biological subconscious process to keep you safe, right? So the only thing that we can do is say, what is this symptom? So you want to stop and you want to say, what is the symptom? So maybe it's a backache. What is that? Where is it coming from? You don't know. Maybe it's coming from your nerves or your nervous system, or say you have a headache. Let's just take a headache because it's simple. Okay, I don't want to do that one. Sorry, I'm getting confused here. Let's do something really simple. Say you have a sprained wrist, okay? I know this isn't your symptom because it's not generally a problem for people who have chronic illness. So that's why I'm taking this one, because it's likely not your symptom. I want to do one that's not your symptom right now. So you have a sprained wrist and you are focused on pain that's coming from this area. You want to, instead of giving it your attention constantly here, you want to, and thinking, what can I do to get rid of this? How can I end this? You want to think, what is this? Where is the symptom itself coming from? Right? Where is the awareness of this thought of this symptom coming from? Okay, it's coming from my wrist, so it must be from a bone or maybe a nerve. Well, where is that located? Well, it's all coming from, part of my body. Maybe it's going up, right? So we bring it back. Well, how am I perceiving this symptom? From my mind. My mind is actually the one perceiving the symptom of the pain. The pain isn't emanating from here. It hurts here, but I'm noticing it and recognizing the pain up here in my mind. So now that you're in your mind and you realize it's my thoughts that are actually creating this, because this is where I perceive pain, we want to say, where is the attention of pain, the attention of these symptoms coming from in my mind? Who is, this is hard, but who is looking? Where is the source of my mind coming from? And this is where we get into, you'll sort of stop and there'll be a space. Who is the looker of this symptom? Who is the looker of the perceived, of the pain, of what's happening. Where is it coming from? It's not just coming from your brain. There's a perception. So there's the higher self is what I'm trying to get to here. So it's the self, your awareness, like the presence of you. So it's almost like your spirit, yourself, your soul. That is the actual watcher that can notice the pain, that can in here, that can notice the pain in here. So it goes from here all the way back through your body to your mind, and from your mind it goes higher out to yourself, to your soul, to your spirit, to your awareness. That's the true perceiver of the pain. So we want to stop fighting against our symptoms constantly and settle our nervous system by recognizing, not even trying to get rid of it, because as soon as we're engaged in trying to get rid of the symptom, we're actually creating more of the symptom, because the fight or flight, because we're giving it our attention and our focus and our significance, and our flight or fight nervous system is turned on. So we don't want to try to end the system. We want to recognize the presence that is aware of the symptom. And when we can do that, we don't have to do anything. We just notice that, feel that. And we want to constantly come back to that, the awareness of it, the self of it, and notice the non-attachment of it, that we don't have to actually place it's not real. The symptom is not actually coming from the wrist. It's coming from the mind that's focused on the wrist, and the mind is coming from the awareness of the self that's actually perceiving your mind to focus on the wrist. So it's like a tier level going back. So let me see if I've hit all my notes here. So who is the one that is aware of the symptom? Who is that person? What is this? And we start to recognize that it's awareness itself. It's soul, it's spirit, it's something else. The perceiver of the symptom is higher. It's you. It's the you bigger than the body, is what we're trying to get at here. And once we can do that, we want to focus on that person who is higher, the awareness, the person who is aware of the body, the soul, the me, the you that is aware of the body, who is aware of the symptom. And you want to shift your focus and give it to something else. Now, I know this is easier said than done, but by noticing and becoming aware that your symptom is not coming from the part of your body that hurts. It's coming from your mind. And you're coming from your brain. And your brain is activating the actual symptom, but that is coming from mind, from self, from spirit, from perception, from awareness. So it's even higher. And once you realize that that's truly what you are, then you can notice that you don't have to fight against that, because there's nothing that you need to do. All you need to do is recognize, notice, and get out of this and into this bigger awareness. And that's how we stop the negative thoughts and the obsessions and the constant focus and the constant attachment to what is happening. We basically want to break the attachment and the focus and the riveting attention and the growing of it. We want to just focus broader on being aware of awareness. And that's how we can start to break the chains of this pattern that's going around and stop it and grow it out. We still notice the symptom. It's still there, but we're now not attached to it. We're not activating our fight or flight nervous system. We're not engaging with the stress response and the need to fix and solve and battle against ourselves. We notice it, but we're aware of it, but we're aware that we're aware of it, that we don't need to fix it. And that's how we break the cycle. And when we break the cycle, even if the symptom is still there, it calms the nervous system. We get into parasympathetic nervous system activation. And the more we do that, and the more we can recognize and notice that, the more your body will be in rest and repair mode. It will feel safe, even if it can still feel the symptom. It will be safe. It will be operating on a different level, and it will be no longer trying to get you to safety. It will already feel safe, and then your body can kick into healing. You can put your attention on something else. You can read a document, or you can watch a program, or you can listen to a podcast, or you could make dinner, and you can focus your attention on that instead of being caught up in this fight or flight of noticing the symptom and trying to fight against it constantly. And we just want to break it so that we can be aware to do other things even though we feel the symptom in the background. It's just there. It's just part of it, and we're not getting caught up in the emotional triggers of it that activate our nervous system. So I know this has been a long video. It's been a complicated video. If you need to go back and watch it again, rewatch it, because it's really important. And once you get this, you can start to heal. You can start to break the patterns and the thing that's keeping you stuck. And it's hard to get. It's not easy. You have to practice it too. You have to sit down. You have to practice becoming aware of the symptom, of becoming who is the perceiver of the symptom and where is that coming from, and break that so that you can feel the awareness and the calmness, and we're not activating the system. And the more you do it, the more it will become familiar, and the more your body will adapt to it, and the less fight or flight your body will be in, and the more parasympathetic healing response your body will be in, and the more and then we can start to heal. Then you can actually start to heal the body. So I hope this has been helpful. Go watch it again if you need to, and give it a try. Really practice this, because it doesn't happen by just getting this information, listening to it a few times, and then just knowing it. It only comes by practicing the meditative awareness of self, right? Of who is the perceiver of this, and breaking that cycle. So good luck.